to another Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan.
I'm Nathan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before I get into anything at all, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature Podcast. You know, Nathan, I was at my local pawn shop the other day. I was hawking some moon rocks that I got from the Space Center that I
Where
was at earlier that day.
did you buy them or did you steal them?
That's not important, Nathan. What the
Oh,
important thing is
okay.
that when I was talking to the pawnbroker, they were like, "Oh, these look really authentic," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You know what else is really authentic? The Patreon for the Drive and Double Feature podcast.
Mhm.
It's got some fun games, got some fun conversations, just a good old time there between two friends. That's only $5 a month. It doesn't affect any regular content." And I said, "Oh, that does sound great." And they say, I hope Nathan Ryan realized how much we really do appreciate them. And I said, I think they know.
We know.
But anyway, like I said, that doesn't affect any regular content. But today we are going to be talking about 1983's Twice Upon a Time, which is directed by John Forty and Charles Swinson. Um, Nathan, have you ever heard of this movie before?
No. No, I didn't. I did not know anything about this movie. I feel like maybe at one point I had read about it because I know George Lucas was tied to this
This
movie.
is this is a Lucas film.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe I've read about it, but it definitely left my mind. So no. It sounded like I got to hear your history on this one though.
All right, so Nathan, I remember. So I used to watch Cartoon Network a lot, and I think it was like Saturdays they would do like a Cartoon Network movie. Like, they'd have like a movie playing or something like that. Like it'd be something like, oh, like this is the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, like the animated one, or
That's
like
so funny because when you said Saturday Cartoon Network movie, the Alvin and the Chip, like one of the mini Alvin and Chipmunk movies,
right
that's what came to my brain.
that one, or it was like some sort of Scooby-Doo movie, or like Land
Mm,
Before Time,
yeah,
something along those lines.
if you wanted to cry.
But this, I mean, I was crying after all those movies.
After all, even the Alvin and the Chipmunks, because you had to watch it again.
Hmm.
Go ahead, sorry.
But no, so I remember this movie being one of them, and I'm like, I've never heard of this movie, and
Mhm.
so I watched it, and I remember it being just like, huh, that was just like a really like out there movie. That was so
Mhm.
interesting. I remember it looked cool and everything, and I couldn't find it for the longest time. Eventually, I did. Um, it came back on TV on Cartoon Network, so I recorded it that time.
Oh, wow.
So I had all, so I had all the commercials and everything. But it's not the same when you watch like a TV version of a movie. You feel like you got to have like the original version.
Especially for
So,
this one, I'm sure.
oh yeah, but I don't remember where, but I found the like an actual VHS copy of this
Oh,
movie at
wow.
one point. And I had my own copy of Twice Upon a Time, and I loved it. I watched it several times. I thought it was a funny movie, and I thought the animation style was really good. And this was just me, Nathan, just wanting to see if it held up.
Okay, cool. So how
And
long has it been since you've watched it, you think?
oh God, I mean, probably 20 years,
Oh,
or
wow.
if not more.
So that's cool. That's
So
cool.
yeah. Um, Now this movie has an interesting history to it.
hmm
So the movie we watched, Nathan, was not the one I watched on Cartoon Network.
Oh, I assumed as soon as you said you watched it on TV.
So the version that Nathan and I watched, there is 2 versions of this movie. There's like an adult version and there's
Mhm.
a family-friendly version.
Yeah, which makes
So
sense. So, oh, I guess yeah, get into that. I'm interested in that.
yeah, so I will like John Cordy, his intention was to make a children's movie or like a family film.
hmm
And the version that I saw on Cartoon Network and the one that was on VHS, that was the closest thing to how his original vision.
Hmm.
But one of the producers noted, like in some of the earlier screenings of Twice Upon a Time, that college age people were like walking out of the movie, or they weren't staying for the duration because they thought it was a little too kid friendly. So the director actually had some line, not the director, I'm sorry, the producer actually had lines redubbed to actually add swearing and adult content to the
Yeah.
movie in order to make people interested, to make people stay, thinking like, oh, this is an adult movie, which it's really not. I mean, other
No.
than like a couple of swear words, this movie is very tame, I would say.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what was interesting about it is like at least for me because I didn't realize that there were two versions. That the movie as a whole is a very kid friendly, nice movie. But then in the middle of all of it, you'll have a character saying shit or just like a few
Or
curse
ass,
words,
or yeah.
and it's
Uh,
just kind of like,
like
huh? It just felt off.
it's very it feels very unnecessary. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, I mean, it's not like it's outrageous or anything what they say, but like there's one that's like a henchman and his boss is yelling at him, and then when the henchman walks away, just under his breath, he just yells like asshole. Like
Yeah.
just
It's like this is not needed because it's funny for like the main bad guy because he's like all about stinky stuff. So he's like, "Oh, you're such a poopy head, stinky butt." Like and when he's doing that, that's like that's funny because he's the bad guy. But when it's like that where he's just like asshole, it's like it just felt unnecessary because maybe it'd make more sense if it was a bit more of an adult, like it had more like adult themes or something in it. But no, it's very fantastical. It's a fantastical concept.
yeah. But as a whole, during that time, the movie turned out to be a commercial flop,
I did
and
see this.
at the time, so John Cordy was able to go back and actually edit it to what he intended the movie to be.
Hmm.
And but I guess like on HBO or Showtime, like the adult version was playing on there. And
Hmm.
John Cordy, the director, found out about it and told him to take it off the air and like,
Oh wow.
only play the child friendly version instead. And that's the version that I saw on Cartoon Network and on VHS.
Gotcha.
And then not until years later, this movie came out on DVD and it actually has both versions on there. So you can either watch the family friendly or the adult language version, which I own the DVD.
I was gonna say, did you watch both versions, or do you recollect the original version well enough to like
It
compare?
it's other than the dialogue, it's virtually unchanged. There's no scenes in here, like because I recall. I mean, when I watched it, I already knew like the movie beat for beat, so I
Yeah.
could. There was nothing in there that I was like, oh, I don't remember that scene because I remember all that scene. Like the swearing, obviously I didn't remember, but
Yeah. I'm sure that
um
was a shock at first.
well, I knew that the adult version was there already. So I was just like I wasn't sure if it was the adult version or the kid-friendly version when we watched it. And then
Mhm.
right away, you know which one.
Oh
So
yeah. That's what's odd about this movie is from the I guess well no I don't want to get into it too much. I want you to get into it.
yeah, I mean, the basic premise of this movie is that there's the town called the Rushers of Den, which is really just mankind as a whole.
Hmm.
It's just people are so busy and running around everywhere that they're always looking at their watches and they always don't never have enough time and or
Hmm.
they're always in a hurry. But the one time a day where they can relax is in their dreams. And there's two different people. There's the guy, Synonymous Botch, who actually produces nightmares,
Hmm.
and he has his minions, which are just these giant vultures that go and drop these bomb-looking things that are just that are nightmares that release. And you have the good guys, which is by the guy Greensleeve and his little figs, like these little purple fruit-looking type things
Hmm.
that actually go around and jump on like the rushers of den and like give them nice dreams. But obviously the mercs are the people that do the nightmares and they want nice dreams to stop, and they want people to live in nightmares forever.
Horrible. That's such a horrible idea.
And
Imagine it like your worst nightmare that you've ever had, and you have to live that perpetually for life. Miserable.
that would be awful. Like you just every waking moment you're in a nightmare.
Oh God, yeah. So and then but they show the way they introduce this world is they show the little purple creatures going to live action photos of people and
Hmm.
hopping on them. And we'll get into the animation style. But I will talk about at first I was a little turned off by this movie with the songs. So that first song with the lady singing, I don't know what it was. I was like, oh, this is like really cheesy. Is this gonna be like a really like cheesy like 80s movie? But I will say it gets better. It's one of those movies I feel like you got to like settle into and then you like start to like get into it. But right off the bat I did love the animation style. So it's like South Park like a cutout style animation.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. It almost too like when characters turn their head or like they shift their body in some certain way. Like you
Mhm.
see like these color splotches being put in, or like the color of them changes.
Mhm.
It's it's really interesting effect. Um, but yeah, it's like you said, it's like cut out. Like the characters are very 2D.
Mhm.
They look very flat. Um, the backgrounds are either like these painted backgrounds or these like photorealistic backgrounds,
Yeah.
and it's just it's a very much like I, I don't know what the way to explain it. Like you said, it's kind of like South Park. Yeah.
I won't. South Park's crude. This really isn't crude, but it looks like cutouts, and it looks. I don't know. It looks really nice. I'll say that the backgrounds being real adds like this weird. That's kind of like Ralph Bakshi ish, where he likes just using photos. It's kind of like collage artwork in a way,
Hmm.
but not like super artsy. Like it all makes sense and works together. Um, I don't know. There's something like almost like childlike about it that's like enjoyable to watch. And I like how you said like how when they shift, like their colors change and stuff like that. I don't know. It has definition to it, and I kind of like that because I've never seen a movie that looks like this, and I don't feel like we in the '80s like with Bakshi stuff, you got more of this experimental animation style, and I feel like that's gone away from at least feature films.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like I can't recall of a movie that's like this or looks
No,
like this,
no, not at all.
and and I think that's why it was such a favorite of mine because it was just so unique looking,
Mhm.
and it's a very simple story. I mean, the whole story, like I said, is evil wants to prevent good dreams. And at the very beginning of the movie, all those vultures in that kidnapping all the little figs, the people that cause good dreams, and Greensleeves, the ones that is the caretaker of all those figs, ends up getting kidnapped as well. And is the uncle of Florafana, who is
Mhm.
a princess-like type character because we don't really get an exact definition of like the of what her title is or of the area that they in, like this magical world. It's just it's magic, just roll with it type of thing.
Exactly. Don't think about it very much.
And she gets a letter saying that he's been kidnapped, but it's really funny scene like because I thought where this judge looking guy or like this king or whatever gets delivered the letter. And Flora's like, "Oh, that's from my Uncle Greensleeves. What's it say? Is he okay?" And he's like, "Oh, my dear, he's fine. He's doing more than okay." And then he just throws it in the trash and she runs off and he's just like, "Oh, one of these days I'm gonna have to learn how to read." Like,
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought it was interesting. This character is so barely in the movie, by the way. He's like out of
oh,
the movie.
that's like his only scene. Yeah.
Yeah, which is so funny. But yeah, Flora, Flora runs away. I thought that bit was funny. And then we get introduced to like my favorite character. Maybe it's just because it's voiced by Lorenzo Music, but it's a Ralph the All-Purpose Animal, which I love the
Hmm.
intro to this movie where it has like these weird names for all these characters, and just like the name of him is really cool. I love his laid back style and how he just like changes to like these bizarre animals.
Yeah, that's he's one of our main characters, and Mumford, which is just like this
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin looking guy,
Mhm.
and
Silent.
he's silent and he kind of speaks in like horn honks, kind of.
Hmm.
That's the only noise that he makes. Um, and these become our heroes of the movie, where they run into Flora, and they're kind of like these nitwits kind of at first, where they're trying to do these very simple tasks but they can't even do that. And I like it because Ralph is pushing this thing and he's just like, this is really dumb. And they're like,
Yeah.
and the guy comes running up like, stop it, you're not trying to say this is dumb, you're supposed to be singing la la la, like
No, no, and that's what's this movie has a lot of moments like that that are actually like genuinely like funny. This movie's once it gets going, I think this movie is genuinely funny and has a lot of like great moments. And I'm going to skip ahead because there's a scene where I really thought was funny and a character I really enjoyed. So there's the fairy godmother who doesn't show up till later, and they keep calling her FGM, which I love that. And then I think it's what's his name, Rescue Man, the
Rod
superhero.
Rod Rescue Man.
Yeah, once again, another late movie character, but like because the fairy godmother can't go down and save the two heroes at one point in the movie, so she puts out a call for a superhero, and it's this
Hmm.
great interaction of FGM being like, "Okay, I'm a damsel in distress. How are you gonna save me? And I'm stuck in a fire." And she actually lights herself on fire, and she's like, "Oh, save me!" And I think he just is like, "Man, do you want to be saved?" He's very
Like,
bumbling and stupid.
yeah, it's like, oh, would you like to not be on fire? It's like, very much so. It's
Yeah, it's very, very goofy. No, and then the punchline is that he sucks up all the flames and then burns her to a crisp with them breathing them out.
yeah, no, he's a really funny character, which we'll talk more about him. But
Hmm.
the the main plot is, once it gets going, is that Ralph and Mom and Flora end up running into Botch,
Hmm.
and he's basically like, oh well, you could I have your green sleeves is over here, like you need to, the only way you can save him is if you come to my castle. And he kind of like woos them and like pretends he's like a good guy, and
Hmm.
says like, oh well, if you go into this clock, to get this spring, that'll freeze time, and that way they don't have to worry about having any dreams again. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And this movie too, like a lot of funny stuff in here is that a lot of the dialogue is very improvised dialogue.
Yeah,
You
and you
could
can
kind of tell.
tell, yeah, where they're just kind of like mumbling a lot of the times.
Hmm. It's like there's one where they're like, these guys can't even take out the trash, and it's like, we so can take out the trash, and they're like, wait, you can? Like, he's like, yeah, I guess so. Like,
Yeah, I love that because that's how like oh, sorry. That's how Lorenzo Music's he just I feel like he delivers that style of dialogue so well where it's very just like, yeah, okay, I'll deal with it. We got
I
this.
Lorenzo Music is like one of my favorite voice actors, because
Yeah.
he's just, I could listen to him like do like any acting role, and he's just, if he has like that same kind of like nonchalant, like sarcastic type of thing,
Mhm.
it's very funny to me.
Yeah, he kind
Same, because when he was doing like Garfield or like Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters, those are always like my favorites.
he just has like a nice laid back quality that you feel like you don't just like one of those voice actors that can only that does one voice and it's fine. It's perfect. I'm okay with
Hmm.
it. Um
Yeah, it's like when everyone always hires like H. John Benjamin or whatever.
oh, who's that? Sorry, it's not ringing a bell.
A Archer or the guy that does
That
Bob
guy.
Burgers.
That guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's funny because he's interviewed and he's like, I can do other voices, but people just think my natural speaking voice is
Okay.
funny, and they just have me do the same voice.
It works, right? It pays the bills. But yeah, so they go and they get the spring out of the clock and they freeze time, but come to find out that's working into the evil plans because during that time he sneaks in nightmares into the world. And it's actually, if I watched this when I was a kid, these visuals really were creepy of the black smoke rising from like behind
Oh
pictures of
yeah.
real people, and it like billows in. It's very creepy.
It's like it's basically like, it's an animated movie, but they use like photorealistic like video of like real smoke like
Yeah.
billowing out, and like the characters are trying not to get engulfed by the smoke, and
Yeah.
and when they do, they end up having this really awful dream where these office supplies are trying to kill them.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that leads us to the part of Rod Rescue Man, and because Flora, she ends up staying at Botch's because she wants to be she's an aspiring actress, and he's like, oh well, if you can act in my nightmares and be an actress that way, and she's
Hmm.
really happy. And when Rod Rescue Man is there, they he's just like, where's the nearest princess? I gotta find her. And they tell him where she is, and he flies over there and rescues her. And she's like in the scene, like pretending she's getting like attacked by King Kong,
Which the
and he thinks
visual
it's a
on
real.
that is insane with the like the realistic picture of King Kong trying to get in through the window. It's really funny. It just that visual
Yeah,
made
and
me
the
laugh.
hand smashing through their window too.
Yeah, because it's like a weird stop motion style.
But there's a in a scene too, because he reels back to like punch King Kong, but he ends up
Mhm.
punching her and
That's right.
knocking her out. And he's like, Flora, that big bully hit you.
Yes. That's there's something about his character that really made me laugh because he's just a jerk. Like there's that whole scene where he's just trying to kiss her and she's like she keeps like getting away, getting out of it, and he can't get a hint.
Well, because he ends up taking her back to his place,
Hmm.
and she's like, no, I want to get out of here. You're a creep, because he's trying to kiss her, and he's like, do you want to sit on most exercise furniture chair, type of
Hmm.
thing. And she's like, no, get away from me. And she walks out, and he's like in this floating airship football,
Hmm.
and she falls, and he's like, oh my God, I gotta go save her. And he jumps out. And he's like, wait a minute. It's like, if I save her again, then I get two kisses. Like, oh, I could drop her at one point too, and then I get three kisses. And
Yeah, that bit was funny. No, and like and while that's going on, Mum and Loren, because there's a really insane wait, no, this is earlier in the movie where like they're running back and forth in like an action sequence and they can't seem to like escape any way they go because things are dropping from the sky.
oh right, yeah, that
Yeah.
was that was earlier. Yeah,
Yeah, that was, but still great sequence anyway.
yeah, and I thought. I mean, we could go in here and talk about each one of these scenes, back to
Oh,
back.
yeah.
But I mean, but like I said, I think for me, the two biggest things in here rather is the animation style and the dialogue in this movie.
Hmm.
It's super witty type of dialogue. I really appreciate ones that they're really, because every character in this movie I think is pretty enjoyable, because
Yeah.
they always have some sort of funny one liner. Like there's another one. Um, where Rod comes back, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're so glad that you're here." And then Flora's like, "Are we?"
That's right. Yeah, see, that's like you said, I think I can totally agree with that, is that the dialogue is what makes this work because it's surprisingly funny. And the way it's delivered, because it's it's not it's all or not all, but a lot of it's improv, it just feels off kilter. And I understand why you were so drawn to it because it's unique for more than just its animation style.
Yeah, and I think the characters are very likable too.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a very short movie. It's only like 75 minutes or something
Yeah,
like
I feel
that.
like I flew right through it.
It's a very short movie. I mean, it's so, but I was kind of that's another one where I was kind of wanting like a little more out of it,
Hmm.
because I was like, oh, I could have, if this movie was 20 minutes longer, I wouldn't have been mad, type of thing. But
No.
um, it and it ends the same way, where you think, they're able to conquer the nightmares, and they get the dream world to come back, and everyone starts having that. Good Dreams again. When they do unfreeze everything too, they do play another super cheesy song. You get the at the
Yes.
end.
Yeah, that's the one thing is that like that was the bit of the 80s kind of getting in there, the cheesy 80s songs, which I love 80s music, but this was like a little cheesy. It's fine
This is
though.
like it's like sitcom like type of song, like like music type of thing
Yeah.
that you'd hear. Um, but yeah, I like I said before, this movie was not like a very big hit. When it came out, it kind of died a very quick death,
Well, did you know how much
and
it made? I know.
I did not. So why don't you enlighten me?
$5,000. That's it. It got a limited
Yeah.
release, $5,000. And I guess I was reading about it because it's kind of interesting. This movie was made by the Lad Company. And the Lad Company released this limited, and they also released The Right Stuff, which The Right Stuff was a box office failure. It made over 20 million, but it cost over 20 million as well. So both
Oh,
this and that movie made them fall apart pretty much. I can't, you see a movie with a limited release, but $5,000 on a 3 million budget, that is just straight. That is a bad, awful.
yeah, that. It's not very good, but
Yeah.
it's a movie that I think like they really weren't sure how to market this sort of thing,
Yeah.
and because this was sort of supposed to be on a double bill, I think, with Secret of Nim, but it
Oh,
never ended up
wow.
happening.
That would have definitely helped it. I don't know how well Secret of Nim did, but it would have definitely helped out.
Well, Secret of Nim is much more beloved than this one. Like nobody ever talks. I have never like in all the years I've known it, because I was like I don't know, like 8 or something like
Hmm.
that when I first watched this movie originally, and like I've never known anybody else that's even mentioned this movie. Like
No.
I don't so I can see why nobody ever cared for it. But I mean, this movie I do think has a movie that should be a little worth remembering a little more. I mean, I watched it. It wasn't like as amazing as I remember it to be, but I mean, just for the moments that I still think it's a really good movie. I mean, it was like when I say that it wasn't as good as when I was like, oh my God, it was like one of my favorite movies ever type of
Mhm.
thing when I was younger. And now too, it's like it's still like a really good movie, and it's definitely one that's worth remembering.
Totally agree. No, it's crazy that this one's fallen like kind of in the cracks of time because I know people really like to look back at weird animated films, and that's starting to come back on the rise. People love movies like Fantastic Planet, but like you said, nobody's talked about this movie. I didn't even know about it till I watched it. I might have read about it at one point, but it was gone from my head. And it ended up being a really neat movie. It was just charming. I liked the animation style. I liked the characters. There was a lot to enjoy in this one. And I don't think it was perfect. There was some cheesiness to the music and some bits. And like the cursing was unnecessary, but as a whole, it's something special and I think that's something to admire.
Definitely, 100%.
Mhm.
It's still going to be a movie that I think about from time to time. Like I said, I would recommend watching it, especially if you're a big animated film person, because like I said, I don't remember seeing a movie like this one. The sad thing too is that it's not very easy to find. I mean, unless you buy a DVD or like
Yeah.
I had to hunt for this one, so it wasn't like it's like on a streaming service or YouTube, anything that's readily available. I mean, thank God for the Internet Archive for stuff like this, though.
Yeah, Internet Archive keeps like weird stuff like this alive.
Yeah. So I was very happy. I'm very pleased that for me it does still hold up though.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that I've seen it now.
Hmm. But I think that's going to do it for Twice Upon a Time, Nathan. So what are we going to be talking about next week?
Well, Ryan, we are going to be talking about 1986's Thrashin'. And that one's going to be streaming over on Amazon Prime.
So Nathan, we're going to be doing 1993's Airborne,
Oh,
which
okay.
so that one is actually you got to pay for that one. So sorry, but it's only $3. No big deal.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one.
Well, terrific. If you have any thoughts and opinions, please email us over at drivein-double-feature-podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/drivein-double-feature-podcast. And once again, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/drivein-double-feature-podcast. But until next time.
Until next time.